afternoon. I am Ilker Taskaya and I work as a field engineer at Delphix. Today we're going to discuss the topic of ERP systems, such as SAP. There are many others that we work with at Delphix, like Workday, Salesforce, Oracle Financials, even PeopleSoft, going back a while. So our objective with SAP is to provide ability to be able to create SAP environments in your non-production part of your enterprise and be able to do many of these environments so that you can actually test across multiple teams, multiple versions. But most importantly for this conversation, be able to protect this data so you're not proliferating one of the most sensitive data sets you have at your company. Scrambling sensitive SAP data has always been difficult. In part, the data volumes tend to be very large. In part, it is a fairly heavily integrated data sets across your transaction environments, as well as other SaaS applications like Salesforce. And protecting this data means being able to transform this data in a way that you preserve those data relationships across them, so you don't end up with a bunch of siloed data sets. So Delphix provides you with two specific value in the context of SAP non-production environments. One, we can generate many of these environments. Two, be able to generate it in such a way where the data is sensitive data is replaced with fictitious data or scrambled with fictitious data so that you're not proliferating sensitive data across many environments. When customers use SAP masking from Delphix, they start with achieving their zero trust SAP data construct. These lower environments essentially become useless for any other purpose other than testing. Secondarily, be able to do this with speed. Delphix solutions, because we have been in the market for so long and have had hundreds of enterprise customers, $1 billion plus that has these large ERP environments. Our solutions had to be fast. We can mask 4 or 5 million rows a minute using our compliance engines, and you can scale that across multiple Delphix engines. And ultimately, the measure of our success is that you replace the sensitive data so you haven't proliferated this production data across lower environments, and you can still test with it. The data looks realistic, but it is fictitious. Another thing to mention is that we are an SAP certified product. We have actually masked SAP HANA for a number of enterprise customers. But prior to that, we've actually worked with SAP to ensure that we are certified in context. With our solution, there are two primary values our customers get. They're able to identify what is sensitive in their SAP environment and be able to de-risk this data across whether it's cloud or across multiple applications that have integrity, either being a source to the data that's in SAP or SAP being source to that lower data source. And the reason we can do this is that our products abstract transformation mechanisms, meaning when we take a value A and mask it to a value B, we can consistently do this across any data source, any timeline, any location of data, whether it's in the public cloud or on-prem. Our capability of our products, which I'm going to showcase to you as part of this demo, is that we can work with any application, which is a database or a file or a mainframe. We can mask any data realistically. One of the key values we have is we can identify what this data looks like. I'd like to show you that with our product line. So what I have for a demo here is that I have an SAP application that has data from HANA. I have our masking engine in here, our compliance engine, where I have a connection to, as you would expect, to a HANA environment. Let's pull that up. We use SAP HANA drivers right out of the box so that you can use using native drivers to read and write data. This is how you achieve partially 4 to 5 million rows a minute using the in-memory database. And when we connect this to this data source, we can in fact identify what is sensitive across all of the tables that you might have. In some instances, there are 80,000 plus tables in an SAP data source. That's kind of coming out of the box. And some of our customers have upwards of 100,000 objects or tables in their environment. We have what we call accelerators that are available for SAP specifically that can scan the SAP's data model and identify about 500 tables right out of the box, as well as continue to scan both the metadata and the data in your SCP data source to identify what's sensitive. Out of this process, what you end up with it is that the tables that you would have that have sensitive data in it are automatically identified and ready to be transformed or masked or scrambled so that your lower environments are protected. Let me show you what that looks like. So I have an environment in here that has my SAP HANA rule set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually kick off a masking job against this environment. What this is doing right now is connecting to the SAP HANA environment, reading data using the SAP HANA JDBC driver, transforming that data in memory, then writing or persisting that data back either to the source or to a target. It's completely up to you how you want to do this. And to showcase what this looks like, I actually have an SAP application available here that's going against one of these modules. And I have some data set that is clearly a sample data set, but nevertheless, it will serve the purpose of showcasing how we protect the data. Our compliance engine is actually using a virtual database in here. We can certainly use a physical HANA instance as well, but the beauty is that once this is masked, I can use this masked data or scrambled data to generate all of those lower environments. Let's say we wanted to have 5 specific environments under HANA, and we can, taking this VDB, create 5 more VDBs downstream for the application testers to use. My masking job finished masking. And I'm just going to refresh the application so that we actually pull back data set that existed in the environment. Now, instead of using, domestic partner one is Fortune Brands, and as the data values change, the data values that we post here also changes. Let's take a look at the underlying data and how we actually protected it. I have addresses across multiple tables in here. You can see it's 616 LC Street. There's another address in here. It's consistently protected. I think I have some contacts information here. Yes. I had a real data set under these before that we inserted, and now they're protected. You can actually see our algorithms at work, transforming the first name and the last name. There is a full name instance or a composite instance. We can actually take an algorithm and be able to run both of those algorithms back to back in the same attribute. Thus, while individually masking each attribute, we can also mask the composite value together as well. So in summary, what you have as a solution is ability to be able to identify what's sensitive in this environment, ability to be able to assign what's sensitive with a scrambling algorithm that's going to take that input and transform it in memory. And then we can read and write data sets from an SAP HANA environment very, very fast, 4 to 5 million rows a minute on average, and transform the data in such a way where it's completely replaced by a synthetic value. You can still test with this. You can still develop with this. But the value of this to somebody who might be interested for malicious reasons is 0. And furthermore, we can consistently protect this data set within an HANA environment or across different applications because we can provide referential integrity wherever the data set might be. Thank you so much for your time.